And we're joined also now by Tim Johnson from Big Sound Media in St. Louis. And Tim, I want to roll over to another subject. And, this Vita, this happened to us many years ago. Only I didn't get on the air and make a total ass of myself. You remember many, many years ago where we got on the air and we were reading that thing about Captain Kangaroo?
Yeah.
And then we got blasted in email because it was fake. It was checked on Snopes and faked. And ever since then, we would check on Snopes, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, this email comes out, and I didn't put it on the air, but, this week I threw it onto the Facebook, and then a good friend of ours, took it from Facebook and then went viral with it. And then, so now we're getting blasted on Facebook because it turns out it's not true. But I get this email, and, I'm part of this large network of veterans from all divisions of the armed forces because of, friends of my father. Mm-hmm. So now I'm on this large mailing list. So I get this email on this email list of hundreds of veterans, and it says in the email the news story came from Reuters, however you want to pronounce it out there, you insert the proper pronunciation, which is a news source, and it's talking about the secret campaign, the secret campaigning of Obama's administration getting ready to sign into international treaties with gun bans, and because they're international treaties, they affect the United States. And so I'm up in arms, and I'm glad that this all happened before. I'm glad this all happened before I came there, because we got blasted on Facebook because according to Snopes, it's fake and it's been going around for a while. And the fact is that they cannot enter any kind of treaties that violate our Constitution. Okay, fair enough. I didn't get to air with it. I learned my lesson. For a lot of years, Vita, I checked everything out before saying it on the air. And this one time I slip up for two reasons. One, it said Reuters. You think it's real, right? The second reason is it came from a chain of hundreds of service veterans who have fought for this country. Wouldn't you believe them?
No. I don't believe anything unless I vet it.
No, great. Thanks for your support. Appreciate it. So now, but look on the other side of it. Okay, fine. It's illegal for them to enter any treaties that violate the Constitution. But I have to look at this from the other side of the coin, too. Okay, fine, I believe you. Great. I checked it on Snopes myself. You're right. But on the other side, this administration hasn't really given a damn about the Constitution. Mm-hmm. So, how do we look at that? Tim, can he go after the guns? Can he go after the Second Amendment?
Absolutely.
How? Because according to sources, he cannot do anything that is against the Constitution.
That's the thing with Obama right now. Nobody sees it that way, that he is rewriting the Constitution. Okay? He may not have it complete yet. This whole election was not even an election. He was already going to win. People voted just out of spite because they didn't favor Romney. We got a bad election this time, really. Even the last one was. But back to, hold on, before I continue, Facebook, it's a gift and a curse at the same time, because I know what you mean. Anything you put on there, it can go viral and be shared around there, and everybody can message each other and gossip and do what they're going to do, and you're not going to please everybody.
Mm-hmm, right.
But it's really nice that people can find you and write you, but they can find you and write you. That's the thing. I lost a lot of acquaintances over the Obama election. People that I wasn't really friends with.
So what do you care?
Racist because I didn't agree with anything Obama has to deal with.
Right.
So if you disagree with Obama whatsoever, his supporters don't care about what you have to say. If you don't like him, you're racist.
Right.
The majority have spoken about that. If you disagree with Barack Hussein Obama, especially if you're white today in this country, you're a racist, and it really does bother you. Really, when you see these messages pop up, and then you have to block people on Facebook and delete them because you're constantly. And I've been going through that ever since this election took off.
Well, that's there's a fine line there, and what I mean by that is this. As far as that goes, because if you look around, if you just look around. Even black people on YouTube, on social media, blast this guy. So if you're racist, it's a very fine line. Much finer than I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Because I except on election night and maybe watching some exit polls, I have not seen many black Americans stand up for him. So I'm completely perplexed over the election based on what my eyes have seen on television, on social media, and out there in the real world. I'm totally perplexed. And I'm perplexed by the fact that a state like California with 55 electoral votes calls Obama the winner with 0% of the precincts in.
Mm-hmm. That's what's bad. That electoral college that we've got today, it doesn't even matter. Like our votes, my votes managed to affect where I live, but as to the president of the United States, Missouri did not matter. Just as in 2008, Obama didn't need Missouri to win.
Right.
We're a measly 5 or 10 points, I believe. And if you look at the map, I'm telling you, Joe, I looked at the after results. It's red everywhere, but these big giant cities in the states,
right,
that have many of the foreign, I don't want to say foreign, but many of them are blacks and Latinos. Obama got that vote, no matter what. And Romney, and really, this election we are more divided as a country upon race. Race had the number one thing to do with this election, and sex, gay rights.
Mm-hmm.
Romney wasn't going to get those votes, and women. Women had a very big influence on this election. Mm-hmm. And as the YouTube maniac people call him, Pastor Manning, who I am subscribed to, calls him the long-legged Mac Daddy. You know who he is. His videos are viral, and he is the most he hates Obama, and he literally addressed him directly in the video, and I've seen even proof that he's released about him being interrogated by the CIA of them trying to come up with saying that he's trying to get Obama killed, assassinated.
Wow.
Because the way Pastor Manning keeps saying, you keep pushing these white folks, there's going to be an uprising.
For the dark-colored SUVs parked down my street, listening, that's Tim Johnson from St. Louis.
Yeah, and it don't take nothing to find an IP address these days. So I'm a little nervous. I'm sitting here enjoying the rest of my Hostess donuts that I was able to get my hands on. Jeez Louise!
Yeah,
people are selling 10 or 20 boxes on eBay for about $8,000.
I seen a great plate picture on Facebook yesterday, and it said, Twinkies, which are supposed to be able to survive a nuclear holocaust, die within 3 weeks before the end of the world. Well played, Mayans. Well played.
I have family. My uncle, he's worked for Hostess here in St. Louis. I haven't spoken to him. I need to get information from him, and it's pretty sad. He's been there, I believe, over 20 years, even longer, I believe in that. But he was a delivery driver. Mm-hmm. And he was not striking. He most of those people that were on strike were bakers in those factories. So this whole thing collapsed on Hostess that they just gave up. That's the most number one recognized food that you can sit there and look at a picture of and know that's Hostess. Their names, their products. For that type of company to literally be bellied up and just go out of business,
and wait a minute,
tells you that this time and age in the era with Obama.
And it was over a baker's strike? It was over a baker's strike?
That's what it was saying.
They can't hire other bakers?
The wages with the union that they had, Hostess sent out many memos. As I was reading information, it's very detailed on their website, if you understand all that, of what happened. They gave warnings to employees specifying that if you don't return to work by Thursday, we may close. Now, they didn't take it seriously enough. And a lot of people are really teed off about, in this day economy, most of those people are making $10 to $15 an hour.
Right.
Mm.
And like a gentleman I read on Facebook, he writes and posts, I make $9 an hour and really work very hard for my money where I'm so exhausted that I just go to sleep at night and go back to work the next day. And you guys are complaining about making that kind of money?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Every company is cutting wages. Most companies are getting rid of benefits, slashing it all. And Obamacare, as you guys were just speaking about, when this comes into effect, like it's you're already seeing signs of it. And you know what everybody it says to me when I say that? Oh, what, you don't want free health care? You don't want a handout by Mr. Obama? No. If you really read about it, and the Obamacare itself is such a huge list of things he's got planned. I mean, you look at all of it, and it's made so confusing, but if you actually read some of it, it's mind-boggling.
Right.
And it's very sad.
And, I think more constituents, I think more Americans read it than even the Congress. Because they admitted to voting it through without reading it, just so they can get it passed and start trying to understand it.
Absolutely. And Obama, this time it's going to be real. That's what's scary, Joe. And people that are listening as of now and hear this, the Obama we saw was the real Obama. He didn't unleash everything he wants to do. This time it's going to be real. Obama's going to take America on. And is it going to be a good thing? I don't believe it's going to. Right. Well, now I'm really scared because of what we are becoming as a nation. It's becoming socialism. Our whole democracy and constitution, our rights, everything is just being shredded.
What do you think, Vita?
I think that I don't know why we cannot have. People are so resistant in this country for your country to be able to provide you with health care. I agree with it. If you cannot afford it, then it flies in Europe. I don't understand why everybody is so passionate about, no, we don't want the government giving us health care. And I said it before. I have a boyfriend who works doggone hard every day. All right? He's on his feet all day long. He has child support that he has taken out of his pay, which eats up the majority of what he makes. All right? He doesn't have enough money left over to pay the premiums that they charge at work. He works at the same place I do. He does not have that money left over to afford health care. Mm-hmm. So if the government is going to say, I'm going to charge you $100 a year, or whatever the number is they're going to come up with, because you don't have health care, but I can't afford health care. Look, right. I pay for it, and I can barely afford it, but I have to have it because of the conditions that I have.
Right.
I can't afford not to have it. So I don't understand why all these other countries have stuff like this, and when they talk about it in America, the first word that flies out of people's mouths is socialism.
Right. Well, we talked on the...
What is the matter with caring for your people? You know what? In Japan, the elderly are revered. In America, they're stuffed away in a nursing home somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You know that wise saying, when it seems too good to be true, it usually is. Now, the plan is, with Obamacare, that things that you don't realize, that there's a price point that will always be and always will change. There is no set amount on what's going to happen. It can be changed and manipulated over time the way it wants to be. There is no set rules on it. It's like thinking about Walmart as such a big corporation and the things they're going through as a company. It's like giving Walmart the rights to your bank account, to mail letters for you, to your personal information. When you give the government, such as the way our government is heading, you give them those rights to take over. There's doctors who love being off the grid right now because they can actually be a doctor to their patients. Doctors today, they're like McDonald's. They have to serve so many customers to stay profitable that you really don't even get the type of doctor you used to get years ago. Like my grandmother would tell me, the doctor would sit down with you 15, 20 minutes at least, talk to you, and take care of you and fix the problems. Now today, the doctor storms in with a laptop, tell me what the problem is. Tell me what's going on. I don't feel good. You're tired, depressed. Here's some medication, and we'll see you. You'll feel better in about 6 weeks.
Right.
That's the way they are today, and they're gone. Doctors. There's only so many that can go off the grid right now. But when Obamacare kicks in, they can't choose to not take insurance anymore. So that it's all going to be clustered and put together into one one big mess.
Right. Now,
Well, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty of it, the reason all this is going on to begin with is insurance companies and doctors. The insurance companies are only covering a certain amount. The doctors will inflate their bills to send to the insurance company because the insurance company is going to pay the usual, customary, and reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctors are inflating their bills so that they at least get paid close to what they think they should get paid. If the insurance companies would leave the doctors alone to do their job, and if the doctors didn't inflate their bills so much to be able to meet something with the insurance companies, we wouldn't even be in this situation these days. They did away with HMOs because they were the big evil corporations. And they actually were giving doctors a set point every month. There was a quota. They had to see X amount of people, and they had to score X amount. I mean, I was a paralegal for medical malpractice. I know. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody used to blame it's the attorney's fault that the insurance premiums. The insurance companies would point their fingers at the lawyers saying, this is why your premiums are so high, because we have to find the money somewhere to pay for that doctor who was sued for malpractice. Well, guess what? If the doctor hadn't been half toast when he came in, maybe he wouldn't have amputated the incorrect foot from that man, who now had to have the correct foot amputated and now has no feet, and that's a true story. Look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, it's the same thing with people complaining about, that woman who got the millions of dollars from McDonald's. They have absolutely no concept. I had a tape of the actual conference that the children of that elderly woman gave, because the elderly woman was under a gag order, but her children were not. All of the ideas that people had in their brains about this whole hot coffee lawsuit was untrue. The car was not moving. They were in the parking lot. She had it between her legs, opened it up, and jostled it. Now, I equaled it to this. You're sitting in McDonald's with a couple of your little toddlers, and they're rambunctious, and you have your coffee from McDonald's sitting open on the table. One of them reaches across for something, and as they're coming back, tips over that coffee, and it gets all over the kid. An Olympic gold medalist could not leap from the table to get to cold water to stop the burns. This woman's organs down there were seared together. Okay? The coffee was that hot. Nobody bothered to really get to the bottom of everything. And I say all of this to say that people never get to the bottom of things. And to have my boyfriend, who can't afford much at all after child support comes out, he's a good man, he pays it. He's not a deadbeat. And for somebody to say, you can't have health insurance, you have to pay if you can't afford to have health insurance, is absolutely preposterous. But still, why shouldn't he be able to get health care? Why should he be afraid every time he coughs or sniffles or whatever, gets a pain, he won't go to the doctor because he can't afford it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I see that. I see that completely on what you're saying. And that's where this health reform that they've been trying to do needs to be rearranged, and not the way Mr. Obama has put it into place. And, Joe, Canada, I spoke to, Ray, who's in Canada, about it, and he said it's not glorified like everybody thinks it is, but it does work.
Right.
The Canadian health care, how come our country doesn't aim towards something like the way they've been doing it?
Right, and on the election show, we Phil Hong from SRN1 Networks was here, and he made the same statement. He said, the system works, everyone gets health care,
Mm-hmm.
the doctors get paid by the government, everybody's happy. Here's a couple facts too, because the problem is not that they want to set up a system. The problem is like Tim said, it's the system they want to set up. We looked at this about 2 years ago on the show. And here's some facts. When you look at Japan, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, Canada, the administrative costs for health care are below 7%.
Wow.
The administrative cost for health care in the United States is over 25%. So, the question becomes, even if we went with a system somewhat mirrored to these other countries, could we even make it work? I mean, what is costing insurance companies 25+% in administrative costs? To me, that's
their CEOs.
To me, that's just them fleecing the customers. And I don't think that we need to. I think a good start would be that they regulate the insurance companies.
Exactly.
That's what I think where they need to start. And I used to work in the healthcare insurance industry, and in fact, I'm still very close to the guy I worked for. And in the past year or two, doctors are not. Medicare is not even paying on time. So doctors are waiting around for Medicare to pay.
Oh, it's taken almost a year for some of my claims from the hospital to get paid off by the insurance company. I'm getting window envelopes, and they're telling me, you owe me thousands of dollars. I don't owe you that. I owe you 20%. Well, we haven't gotten from the insurance company, so it's on you.
Right. But I mean, they're just some facts. So yeah, in these other countries, it does work, and that's not what Obamacare is. I mean, a lot of like Tim was saying, there's so many hidden programs and agendas buried into this, and that's what's wrong with the program. They're not going to set up a nice little socialized healthcare system. They're setting it up to where if you're poor and can't afford it, then you have to pay the piper. You have to pay the piper for being poor. We're going to be slandered for being poor.
No. The poor will be taken care of. It's the middle-class guy who's at the high end of the bottom rung. He's right. The guy who's getting smacked around. The poor are getting state welfare.
The new middle class is that word is just gone. It really is. People I've spoken with that have just been working and going as much as they can are worried so much about everything that you can imagine with trying to survive without going to the government for benefits and what you can get. And the ones that can qualify and get, some are being told to quit their jobs to get health care for their kids because they make too much.
Right. And that is the catch-22.
That's sad.
That you cannot work as a mother, especially if you have multiple children from multiple fathers, especially, the amount of money that you can gross and collect from the government is unbelievable on what you can get. And many parents are putting their kids on disability just because they have a problem with ADHD. I'm not saying that they don't, but anything that they can get, they begin to just take, and that's where we're at today with the deficit.
Right.
Is the handout by Obama, and I've spoken to many people in messages on Facebook about it, that of course I want Obama health care. Of course I want everything free from Obama. Obama's going to pay my bills. Obama's going to take care of me.
Right. Let me hold you up there, Tim, because we have to take another break. And then we'll continue with this discussion. If you have an opinion about it, or maybe you're in that situation, phone number is 866-417-4359. Guess what? That's a free call. Cost you nothing. 866-417-4359. Facebook.com/Behind the Mic. We're coming back right after this with more.
And that's the few that we know of right now. I mean, there's many people out there like that are planning something like that, and it's. The movies, you cannot blame that they're bringing out these people. They're just out there, and the way media covers it, it's not like years ago where something like this could have happened. You wouldn't really hear about it. Now, when something like this happens, everybody knows about it.
Yeah, the media has to, they have to sell it,
Right.
But, I mean, kudos to the mother for seeing the signs and turning him in before opening night.
Right.
So now he's in jail.
Did you hear, Joel, about the money that the victims from the Dark Knight movie, the Batman movie, I haven't followed it, but
Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, Dark Knight Rises. The money that is being given to the families and the victims that were affected by that?
No.
Okay, well, they raised money through a charity organization, and 100% of the money they were being told was going to be going to these victims and families. And I'll have to find it if I can catch it in time to let you read some of it off of how much these people are getting. The ones that suffered the most, that were in the hospital for at least about a month, are getting an average of around $300,000. Now, the ones that only were injured and there for about a week are only getting around $70,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at all this money, and a lot of people added it up and are like, where is the other almost $2 million they raised?
Administrative costs.
Where did that go?
Administrative costs.
Right, and they're told 100% of the charity money is going to the victims. 100%.
And so it's business as usual, is what you're saying.
Right. That just doesn't make any sense that you give money to a charity these days, especially a cause like that for these people that suffered such a catastrophic event that you would not even imagine that would happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, I'm going to toot my own horn. I work with a charity that helps the Native American families in poverty on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. And just last night we had a charity event, a quarter auction, that I was the MC and auctioneer for. And just a couple of points, because as Tim's mentioning, I mean that's a problem in a lot of charities. Let me tell you about this charity. First of all, the administrative costs for this charity, because I was the treasurer, is under 5%. And when I tell you that every penny of the rest of that goes directly back into the programs for the people, I kid you not. In fact, last night while we were raising money for them, we were also, at the same time we were holding our charity auction, we were also feeding 400 plus people on that reservation a Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
So, all the various programs and projects that the organization does for them, the administrative costs are under 5%. So there are some charities out there that do good, right there. So, and Tim's just sending me the feed over here for these. Let's see if the numbers stick right out at me. So,
$5.3 million in donations. That's what they collected. Right.
Yeah, I see that, 5.3 million, which that's good. But then when you get down, it says let's see, 220,000 each to the people for the families of the 12 people killed, plus victims who sustained permanent brain damage or paralysis. 160,000 for 6 people hospitalized at least 20 days. 2 who were hospitalized between 8 and 19 days will each receive 91,000. 13 people hospitalized for less than that will each receive 35,000. So it doesn't give does it give a final number, like you said, like the balance?
Well, towards the bottom it says in the weeds out of the shooting, the foundation said families of the 12 people killed and 58 injured would receive $5,000. But if you add all these totals up, as people in the comments, I don't even know if they're available for anyone to see, but if you search it on the net, I'm sure you can see some of what people say. Add up the numbers of what they're specifying. Does that amount equal $5.3 million?
Right.
20 people will receive 160,000. So that's about, less than $2 million there. So where's almost half of this money going elsewhere?
That is interesting.
That's what blows your mind, is when you give, and that's what I'm saying. There's very few that are reputable charities that really your money goes to, And
I see here 19 claims were just outright denied. Sorry.
And another thing was, not changing the subject, there was news this week about BP again with their oil spill. Did you hear about it? What it's going to end up costing them again?
I saw like a blurb.
Oh, the settlement they made?
Yeah, isn't it how many billions of dollars?
Mm-hmm. Not enough.
Not enough, but it's still continuing even to this day of how much money they're having to reap what they sow. I mean, for what that company has done, and a lot, what happened there is just there was something I saw on Netflix with that of investigating BP and all the notices that they had of something like this that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you sick of how the money that they just kept turning down. We're not going to fix what we need to fix. We're not going to put any extra money than what we need to. Look at the suffering that these people have, in the South that have just went through all that.
Yeah. That plus the food is,
right.
I won't have any Gulf shrimp. I will not eat anything that comes out of the Gulf anymore.
The animals and the fish and everything in the sea or the ocean, everything out there that way has been affected completely. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be back to normal ever. It's changed forever.
Exactly.
I mean, it's worse than what a natural disaster, I believe, would happen down there. I mean, that much oil what came out over that period When we were sitting here watching a live feed years ago of watching the oil just come out of the ocean, just seeing it nonstop for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're wondering, gas prices are still, still high.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'll be honest with you, they lowered a little bit over here in the last week, to the tune of about 8 cents.
But you're reminding me too, though, of a discussion that I had with a relative.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, and when Barack Obama said, "That's it, we're shutting them down until we can get on these rigs and go and put them through some safety procedures. We're going to check them out and make sure they're all." And the big outcry was, "You're going to cost us all kinds of money by shutting these things down, and you can't do this." And this person absolutely jumped all over me and said, "You can't stop production like that. Who's he think he is?" I'm sorry. Didn't we just have a rig blow up? I thought the man was doing the right thing. And then as far as I was concerned, I got a little miffed because he was caving into them.
Right.
Oh, all right. I'll just shut 1 or 2 down. Maybe 3. Okay, maybe 4. But I won't go any further. And so we probably have other rigs out there that are ready to go any day. And when it happens, for everybody who stood there and squawked about their jobs, the restaurants in the area, I could not believe it. The same people who were affected by all of this were screaming bloody murder. Do you know how much money our restaurant makes by taking food out to those rigs for those guys? Do you know there was another, whatever the company was, that would go out there with their boats and service them in whatever fashion, and they were going to lose money, and they were going to have to shut down, and blah, blah, blah. And so, but it didn't matter. Everybody forgot about 11 lives were lost.
Right.
I believe it. Money talks. It's all about money.
So restaurants actually deliver food out to them?
Yes,
Does Domino's deliver within 30 minutes?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if they leaped like John Carter, they would. So, yeah, I don't understand American people. I really, honestly don't get it. They all should have been shut down. They all should have been put through a safety inspection and opened up one by one after they passed. Absolutely. Without the supervisors and managers from BP even being there. That has always bothered me. So now here we sit, and mark my words, there will be another one.
Oh, I believe you. It's mind-boggling, the ones that are really making it very well through this tough time. There are some that are doing, not just the rich, but there are some that are doing substantially well for the way this economy has been going over the years. It's slowly recovering, but now we got Hostess, as I said, 18,000 that they're, that's just what they're releasing. Could be a lot more.
Right.
For that company of just, they're gone. And, really, who do you think's going to really buy that brand? Do you think a company like such as Little Debbie, that was a big competitor with the Hostess line of like Twinkies, do you think they're going to remarket that product and basically have Little Debbie Twinkies?
No, you never know.
I mean, they're a huge company, and with bread, do you think Sara Lee's going to buy out Wonder?
Yeah. Wow. No more ding dongs.
No more ding dongs. But did you check on eBay to see the bids that people are placing for that?
No, but let's take a quick look at that because you mentioned that earlier, and I meant to pull that.
$7,500 for 20 boxes of Twinkies with 10 sealed in each box. 200 Twinkies for $7,500. And there's people on there on eBay that are just making to show off, putting a $3 million bid for one Twinkie, saying that Bill Gates or someone needs to come around and place a bid to help charitable organizations in place of the Twinkie.
Well,
and there's a lot of people, I believe, is making these bids on eBay that are fake. They're just to make the person think that, you're going to sell me 20 boxes of Twinkies and I'm going to give you $8,000.
Well, we'll talk about that when we come back. We'll talk Twinkies, ho-hos, and ding-dongs, and none of it will be dirty. Call in if you have an opinion. Toll-free number is 866-417-4359, 866-417-4359. 4359. You can join us on Facebook.com/Behind the Mic. And hey, don't forget, in about a month, maybe to the day, or what is today? Nah, a little less than a month. Hey, it's the end of our season. It's the Christmas extravaganza. So we'll talk about more and give you that date later on in the show near the end of the broadcast. But for now, go get yourself a drink of water or whatever your favorite drink is, and munch on a Twinkie if you want. And we'll be back right after these brief messages with more, and we'll talk about this eBay. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. It's Behind the Mic, the show about whatever. And right now, I don't know if you got the munchies or what, but we're talking about Twinkies, Ho-Hos, Ding Dongs, and Hostess bread.
And Hostess donuts.
Are you eating a Hostess donut right now, Tim?
The frosted chocolate donuts, yes. I was thinking about putting the one last donut up on eBay for $9.99. Not $9.99, $999.
The question we posed. The question, right now it is, yeah. The question we posed to you is, how much would you pay for a Twinkie? I mean, all I keep thinking about for the last 2 days with this whole Twinkie thing is, the zombie movie. With Woody Harrelson, cruising across America during a zombie apocalypse, looking for a Twinkie, because they're designed to, they say, last a zombie apocalypse or a nuclear apocalypse. But how much would you pay for a Twinkie? 866-417-4359, 866-417-4359, because we're looking right now on eBay, thanks, Tim, for sending me the link, to $7,500 will get you, let's see, what is this here, 20 boxes of Twinkies and cupcakes. 20 boxes. I mean, what's the inflation on that? Oh, by the way, it is free shipping if you pay $8,000 for this.
No, and the expiration date, they're supposed to be one of the freshest. November 25th and November 27th on the cupcakes, and is it December 2nd on the Twinkies. So that's still another week or two before it's still fresh,
Let me just see here. There's 10 in a box, right? Where's my calculator here? All right.
Wow, there's Wonder Bread too. It's
That's
see.
not going to last long.
Tony, we need some Jeopardy music for this. It's a mind-boggling amount that we have to calculate here.
There's 20 boxes, right? 10 items in each box, and what do they sell for retail? $1?
About $4, I believe.
For a box?
Yeah, about $4 or $5 is the average.
So let's say $5, right? And we do the $5. We times it by 20 boxes. We're looking at a quick $100. So the inflation rate on that is about 750%.
Sounds like Obama.
That's it. Yeah, who's selling these? The government?
That's how we're going to make the deficit.
There's one for 2 loaves of Wonder Bread Classic White Rare Hostess, expiration November 29th, 53 minutes left on it, and there's 7 bids. It's up to a whopping $6.50. Who are I want to know who's doing the bidding.
Yeah, who's buying bread? Have we come to buying bread on eBay?
And paying more for it than you pay at your HEB or your Acme or Albertsons, whatever.
How lazy are you that you're shopping for Twinkies, which is really just a snack food, on eBay, you lazy fat asses? Go out to the store and get some exercise when you're buying your junk food.
That my grandmother bought a box of Twinkies, 2 of them, last week. I told her not to open them. She's got them in her freezer right now, and I said we're going to save them. Because when they do come back out with Twinkies again, I'm sure they're going to use that name, because it is a $2.5 billion brand, what I'm reading on here.
Yeah, I saw that. So, I mean, somebody can just pick up the brand name and redo it, right?
Maybe not. If they can make the same recipe, but put maybe Twinkle Little Star on it or something, and basically only have to pay $500 million.
What are you, a broadcaster or a marketing manager, Tim?
I'm just thinking of that as Little Debbie Twinkle Cakes. That's what I hear them, coming out with. Twinkle Cakes.
I hate to be a dissident, but I am the resident dissident. I don't like Hostess, never have. Tasty cakes. They're like Mom made them homemade. Hostess, you can smack them on a desk and it doesn't faze them.
Have you ever had a deep-fried Twinkie ever?
No, I haven't. But listen, I haven't. But listen to this. I just found this. Tim, this is bigger than the one you sent me. On eBay, Hostess Twinkies, delivered by van with your company logo displayed on the van. I will deliver 1 box of Twinkies in a van that displays your company logo to the address of your choosing. And the cost of this is $10 million. 1 million of which will be donated in your name to a charity of your choice. 28 days left. No surprise here. No bids.
But wouldn't it be nice if some rich actor or some big person that that's got a lot of money, such as Oprah Winfrey, would just do it just to get that media out, that she placed a bid?
Okay, I understand that, but I mean, who's selling this for $10 million? What are you going to do with the $9 million for a box of Twinkies?
Is that what it said? 10% is only going to a charity?
It says it's $10 million. I will deliver 1 box of Twinkies in a van that displays your company logo to the address of your choosing. $1 million will be donated in your name to a charity of your choosing.
What a waste of time to put that ad on there.
I mean, does this guy, whoever he is, and let's see, sold by Rich Cario with a rating of 1,392. Do you expect somebody to pay you $10 million for 10 Twinkies?
I'd be surprised if you could get a $100 bid on just 1 box of Twinkies, but you never know.
My goodness. I mean, when I look at that, I got to tell you, $7,500 for 20 boxes is, that's sounding pretty good right now. I'm going to go wake the wife up and see if I can get a check written right now.
But in the meantime, those people that do suffer from addiction, there are people out there that are really addicted to Twinkies that will pay that kind of money if they happen to not get the bid where they win those Twinkies, or they don't have access to them anymore for a while. Is it such a big thing if they happen to drop some weight due to the fact of eating those? Some of the ones that are suffering from weight?
Right.
Now, I'm not saying everybody eats a Twinkie is overweight.
You visit my show, what do you call me, fat now?
Well, I see the Twinkie in the background.
Did you say the one here that's more? It's 15 million.
No. Link, please, link.
No, just up at the top, type in Twinkies, and it comes up. Okay, now go to the sort by, and sort by the price highest first.
Oh, I never thought of that.
That's because I'm a woman. I know how to shop.
Oh, whatever. You know what? Let me see if
She's done eBay before.
Let me see if I have a soundbite for that. Now it's too late. I had a soundbite for that.
But is Hostess is eBay becoming more like Amazon? Because Amazon, I know you can buy food and grocery products, but eBay seems like it's getting its fair share of, it's not just bread and Hostess products that I've seen on eBay.
I don't know. 15 million, yeah, 15 million.
I've seen an onion ring from a fast food place that had a peace sign on it that they put a bid on it for $200, a frozen onion ring.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Okay, so Source Squared with 1,264 eBay points is selling for $15 million. This is the box that gives back. I am donating half of the proceeds to the Orangewood Foundation in Santa Ana, California. The other half goes to building and maintenance for an organic garden to promote healthy eating within our community. In return, we will have the garden named after you as a thank you.
$7.5 million for a garden?
Yeah.
Are you serious? That sounds like the Mrs. Obama's garden at the White House.
It says here, this is funny. It says Hostess Twinkies, the box it gives, charity, Orangewood Children's Foundation. Underneath of that it says calling Mr. Warren Buffett and Mr. Bill Gates.
Did you see the comments on that? Somebody put, ha, 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 this user thinks it's funny to give to charity and help your community.
Oh, yeah. Because you got to wonder. Seriously, you got to wonder. I mean, if you decide to put out $15 million for this box of 10 golden sponge cakes that if you don't get them soon, they're going to turn color, and then you got to market them as Christmas cakes. Okay? If somebody pays for that, the winning bidder should have rights to the tax paperwork to prove that 75 went here and 75 went there. And not just into some
You know, and another fact is, Joe, think about what eBay is going to make on some of these auctions.
Oh, but that's
eBay gets around 10-15% on
No, they don't. No, not that
on
much.
On this type of amount?
No.
On $15 million, it's a heavy fee.
No, let's look at the fees. Hold on one second. Let's look at the selling fees.
This guy's had 15 offers.
What, on the 15 million?
Yeah, it says 15 offers, and when you click on that, it takes you. It says offer status pending. Everybody's pending.
Everybody's pending?
Yeah.
Because I'm actually a registered user on there, so let's see what they say about sellers' fees. There is a fee chart here somewhere. Everybody just bear with us. Bear with us as we scramble to find out more information about Twinkies on eBay. What else are they going to start selling on eBay? Are we going to be able to buy spring water and things like that on
You know what's really
Probably,
cool,
I'm
Joe?
looking at fruitcake here.
Do you ever use coupons?
I try. I wish I could do more because I know people who are very successful using coupons.
Well, those books that people sell in the areas for like $20 that help, like the Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts, whatever, those coupon books, like I think they're called entertainment books, they have thousands of coupons in it. People take all those coupons for one place and gather them up and put them on eBay, and they put a bid for like $20, $30 when you can save out of all the coupons a couple $100 if you use them all. And people buy them.
Right.
People have a full-time job on eBay just selling coupons, and I actually purchased 5 Lowe's 10% off coupons 2 weeks ago for a bid of $20 with free shipping because I plan on redoing some things at my home, and they don't expire till March, and I figured just with the $100 coupon, that's $10 that I'm going to save right there if I spend $100.
Well, this is what it's looking like for eBay, my friend. It's $62.50 for the first $1,000 and 2% of the remaining balance. So you can figure that out.
So 2% of the remaining balance of 14,900,000 and something thousand.
Yes.
So that's a pretty hefty fee. 2% of that.
Oh, it is. But I wanted to point out that I know they are fixed rates. It's not like because it's $10 million that they're going to get they're going to change the actual base rate. It's just that the monetary value will climb because of the original amount, but the percentage is fixed.
I wonder if anybody knows, how do you actually pay for something like that?
PayPal.
I don't think PayPal would go through for that kind of transaction, would it?
Oh, I mean, it might.
Well, there was a story like last year about a gentleman that used to steal from Toys R Us over the years with his mom or something. He was about 40 years old and she was 60, and they used to, this is what their scheme was, they would take big box items, empty them out in the Toys R Us stores, and they do this all around the country, and then they replace it with Nintendo DS's and games, and they get the security barcodes. Well, over the years, they gathered over $1 million in sales on PayPal, and how they got caught was using their Toys R Us rewards card, going into the store and saying, I didn't get credit for my points for buying these purchases. The FBI was on them, and they finally caught them by them getting so greedy that they were missing their $10 reward certificate from Toys R Us for those purchases. And they had almost $1 million in the PayPal account that they seized.
Jeez.
Wow.
Over like a 5-year period.
Well, if you have an extra $500 laying around, you can buy one box. I'm sorry. Not even a box. It's a package of 4 Hostess Cherry Cheese Danish for $500.
I've never even heard of those.
Well, it does say rare. And it says the expiration date is December 24th, 2012. Just in time for the holidays. Ho, ho, ho!
That's a great Christmas gift right there.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Mom would
keeps on
be very
giving.
impressed.
The gift that gives for about 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We now have the figure.
I feel bad for the workers who are going to be on the unemployment line, but I don't think it's such a bad thing to take out of the mainstream marketplace.
Well, like Tim said, I think Little Debbie maybe becomes the new big player. And by the way, 2% on that sale, guys, would be $299,000.
Wow.
Just for paying what, $40 for a hosted website that sold it.
Yeah, but as I said, I believe the name is going to be changed. It's not going to. I don't think people are going to buy. I think they're going to buy the recipe and buy the equipment from Hostess. But on the cheaper side and on the financial way of making money off that product, I think they're really going to just take it and change the name. Like I said, that's where I really see it being possible. If you want Hostess Twinkies to continue that same brand, it'll just have a different name stamped on it.
Right. Well, what's bothersome is like Bain Capital of the 80s and the 90s, which was run by Romney. This was an investment firm that took over Hostess, and this kind of looks like the same situation as the old Bain Capital. They wrestle it into debt, and then they wind up having to file Chapter 11. And now they want to sell the assets. Another company being destroyed by an investment firm.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple of years ago, Tasty Cake was in the same, a similar boat, and somebody bought it so it could stay. I mean, now, does it say something that nobody's coming out of the woodwork saying, we will buy the company to keep it going?
Mm-hmm.
Happened to Tasty Cake. Will something in the 11th hour happen? And then what happens to all these people that are selling this stuff on eBay? If something like that happens where a guardian angel comes out of the woodwork and says, I will buy Hostess and get everything back in order, and we will continue on with the Hostess name and allow this 80-year legacy to carry on. Then what happens to all the morons on Facebook, on eBay, selling their Twinkies?
From what I saw of a video on YouTube that's been viral lately, was a gentleman that worked for the company and did specify that Hostess was wanting to lower their prices, but also take away some pay from their workers and benefits. And they thought that was unfair. To stay in business, they believed to sell more product, that's how they're going to be more profitable, by putting a cheaper price on their products. And, most people should be thankful for a job. And a lot of people, like I said, took paid cuts and have taken paid cuts. So as long as a Hostess worker is still making the minimum of almost twice of what minimum wage is, I think that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And that's what's sad. These workers had no choice. Some of the drivers, like I said about my uncle, he had no choice now because the strike. They didn't go back to work, and Hostess was not playing. The company really was going to close.
Right. Well, we said it here on the show a couple years ago that the days of the $30 an hour jobs are probably gone for as long as we'll ever know. Even with the economy bouncing back, people are going to spend differently. They're going to, hire employees differently. It's all going to be different.
How do you predict Black Friday's going to go this year, Joe?
Well, here's an interesting thing about Black Friday. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Walmart employees are planning to strike on Black Friday.
I heard about that.
That's going to be an interesting. I got to tell you something right now, and Vita knows this. I don't do Black Friday.
Neither do I.
When I do shop for Christmas, it is online with Amazon or eBay or something like that. I don't go out and face the masses. I'm not going to put up with that stuff. I do not camp out overnight. No way. But how's it going to go this year? I mean, I don't know. And I haven't heard any predictions. The only thing I know about Black Friday this year is that Walmart workers are planning to strike, and that's going to be a problem being that they're such a big retailer.
And they say that the smaller stores are actually the better bargains that you think about. Those big box stores such as Walmart and Best Buy and things like that, I've seen sale. They got TVs that are advertising 46-inch TVs for around $150. That's what Black Friday, 46-inch flat screen TV for $150. That's incredible. But when you look at the way you look at ads throughout the year when they have the tax-free sales for the schools and different things, you can find good bargains just as good throughout the year if you find them.
Right. Well, Vita, what are you doing? Do you do Black Friday, Vita?
No, sir.
How do you Christmas shop?
Online.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I don't do crazy crowds. I can't stand that.
What's scary about this online stuff is, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's been in our area of St. Louis. The media's been covering it for weeks now. Many, many post office workers, and I don't know if it's just in the St. Louis area, are getting robbed because of what packages they have. They will actually see them leaving their vehicle and enter their vehicle, and And it's happened almost a dozen times out of the few months in St. Louis.
Yeah, well, you know what? I got to tell you, right here in the quiet little hamlet outside of Wilmington, 3 banks in the area have been robbed in 2 weeks. Home invasions are up all over the place. I mean, all this kind of crime is escalating. We used to, when you used to read this stuff in the newspaper, you used to think, oh man, it's the holidays. Now it's the economy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if stuff goes bad, we're going to have problems.
Absolutely. Tough times.
We're a happy crowd tonight, aren't we?
What is a fair amount to spend on someone these days? I mean, to be...
$2.23.
Is that what you give for gifts, Joel?
Yeah. Those big, thick candy canes?
Well, it seems
they look like billy clubs. That way, if you're licking on it and somebody tries to attack you, you can beat the hell out of them while you're at it.
Kids these days, especially ones in my family, the younger one, nieces and nephews, expect so much. And I remember when I was a kid, yes, Christmas was around. You thought it was just presents and gifts. That's what it was. So a lot of the kids cherish that season. It's it's the big one for them. But it seems like today it's getting worse where it's never enough. More gifts, more gifts, more gifts. And then sometimes it's happened to be what value you put on a gift. So if you do a $100 gift this year, next year it's expected to be more.
I got news for you. To me, that's the part that ruins the entire Christmas thing.
When you put a price on a gift?
Well, the whole gift thing. Got to be more. It's got to be more expensive. The whole gift thing. You could take gifts completely out of Christmas and leave everything else intact, and I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. It's you have a family dinner, you spend time with family, you help the needy. That's what really helping people about being thankful about Thanksgiving. That's what these holidays are intended for. Now it's not even about that.
And you know what's worse? Go ahead, Vita.
I'm sorry. I was just checking my Facebook as you guys were talking, and I actually found a graphic that someone put up. It says Walmart, always low wages, always. And then there's a quote that says, I work full-time for one of the richest companies in the world, and my kids get state health insurance and are on food stamps. And that came from someone, Sarah Gilbert, a striking Walmart manager.
I believe it.
And at the bottom it says, the big question is, what is the real price for all that cheap stuff we buy, and who pays for it?
Right. Wow.
Do your Walmart stay open 24 hours in your area?
Yes, some of them do, yeah.
Okay, because I get out, and I don't go to Walmart much, but I get out because, they do have low prices. Target's pretty comparable. They're catching up with their grocery line and all that. Well, I go at night, and there's about 20 people in line, and only one associate out of 30 registers working.
Thank you.
And about 100 stocking the shelves and fixing everything in the store, and only one cashier?
Yep.
That is pathetic. I literally was on Facebook on my phone writing an essay for something I'm doing, and I had almost a couple pages written because I was in line. They didn't even have the self-checkouts ready or open. I was in line for about probably a half hour.
Oh.
With maybe 3 or 4 items. I had some milk, I had a thing of eggs and some bread, and that's about it. I really didn't have much in my cart.
Now, he's really laying on that story, isn't he? All right, all these perishables, I was in line for 3 days.
I'm telling you what, it really felt bad. Just that one person checking out, what they were thinking. I cannot believe I'm still here at this job. Here at 1 in the morning, work myself up here. And I see 2 or 3 other Walmart employees just walking by.
Well, years ago when I worked for McDonald's, we used segments of a video by actor, comedian Sinbad, and because he mentions in McDonald's, but this goes right along with what you just said there, Tim. He was talking about McDonald's. He says, they're always interested in, improving customer service. You want to improve customer service, why don't you open that register down at the end of the counter? So, I mean, that same statement would fit, at any retailer who does that, and they all do that now.
Right.
And and it's always, have you ever gone to the store because you need to pick up some last minute things for Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday evening?
Ooh.
There's 3 registers open and the lines go all the way back to dairy and deli.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, Jesus, just for poultry season? Really?
And I have an uncle that actually works for Walmart, and his specification, he makes great money. He's worked up in the company over 5 years. He works that as a second job. And his wages are almost twice of what minimum wage is, so he's doing fairly well for him. But I just lost my train of thought.
Vita likes going to the market.
I just lost my train of thought about, that was it, labor. Labor is an issue that Walmart, as some companies that are losing their customers over because they're wanting to stay so profitable. So paying one cashier, and Walmart's predicting so many hundreds of dollars in sales at 1 or 2 in the morning, well, it just so happens that a couple $1,000 in sales is coming through. They weren't ready for it. So what in a business standpoint, Joel, what's going to happen is when you have, customers waiting in line that long, some are going to leave. Mm-hmm. Some are going to go to another store. So don't you think Walmart is really losing money at the same time? Because people are upset about the way Walmart's working. I mean, you go into Walmart, the aisles are overcrowded usually. They still are, even though they try to clean up their act. I still can't find a Walmart cleaner than a Target. Doesn't matter what Target I go to. And it's just like you're bombarded by everybody.
Right, and that'll be a continuing trend, as companies lay off and whatnot. So,
yeah, I won't buy anything from Walmart. And, well, didn't we discuss this last week? It's their appliances. Everything they sell in there is substandard. That's how they sell it for
Chinese goods.
They do, yes.
Or Indonesia.
Yeah, and we discussed that, how they get around the NAFTA and everything by saying they just take their components, ship them into Mexico. They have them all put together in Mexico and shipped up by way of NAFTA. Thank you very much, Bill Clinton.
Absolutely.
But Walmart has inferior product. That's how they can afford to sell it so cheap.
Right.
And I really think that people just need to go to Target or go to Sears or wherever,
Right.
I got to read this one other poster that I saw appear on my Facebook. It says it's a picture of Papa John, and it says gives away 2 million free pizzas for NFL promo. Can't afford basic health care for workers.
I love it.
It says here are 2 million more reasons this dude is a giant hole.
Do me a favor and share that on the Behind the Mics Facebook, will you? So listen, everybody. I said I would give you some details here on the upcoming Christmas program at 8 o'clock, our usual time, on the 16th of December. That'll also be the final show of the season. And so come on by because it'll be a fun show. And it's also designed for children of all ages, as the song says, from 1 to 92. So stop by for that. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Brock LaRob for stopping by earlier on his political rant. Tim, thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us.
Always a pleasure, man.
And, of course, Vita, lovely having you here.
My pleasure.
As is mine. And also, to our wonderful producer, Mr. Tony Richards, who puts this whole thing together. Thank you out there for listening. Remember, you can just send us an email, behindthemicshow@gmail.com. If you listen to us on an encore presentation, we'd love to hear your comments. So, with that said, I want to make sure I tell everybody, please have a safe and happy Thanksgiving, whether you're traveling, not traveling, whatever it is. Be sure to stay safe. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat all you want. Doesn't matter. And until next week, same bad time. We'll see you then. God bless America. Have a good week, everyone.
Peace out.